Hampshire had some of its best beaches stolen in 1974 when Bournemouth and Boscombe was transferred to Dorset. There is one that remains a closely guarded secret, especially by the locals who dearly want to keep it all to themselves. Before we discover the beach, let's have a close look at Bishopstoke village. Let's get one important thing out of the way first. Although the post office, Royal Mail, just call addresses here Eastleigh, never, just never, refer to it as anything other than Bishopstoke, as the folk here are, and rightly so, very protective of keeping the village name alive. It's definitely not Eastleigh, it's Bishopstoke. Alright, I'm certain of this, as I'm an honorary Bishy boy myself, having once lived here for over 15 years. The village of Bishopstoke lies to the east of Eastleigh, separated by the River Itchen and Itchen Navigation, which rises northeast of Winchester and flows to the sea through the heart of Southampton. The ancient settlement of Bishopstoke existed long before the Domesday Book of 1086, which recorded a mill on the river on which the village was formed. The idea of creating a navigation between Southampton and Winchester was current in 1617, although it wasn't until 1710 that it was virtually complete. It was called a navigation rather than a canal, as it used the existing river in a number of places rather than a complete new cut. It was used to transport coal, stone, iron and grain, but it found it almost impossible to compete with the London and Southampton Railway from 1839, and all commercial barge traffic finally declined in 1869. By the 1880s, the navigation had failed to maintain its bridges, and the local highway board replaced them with iron span bridges. This explains why the bridge over the main road from Bishopstoke to Eastleigh is very low to the water level. No chance of a boat navigating here now. The path here that follows the navigation connects Southampton to Winchester and makes for a delightful walk. Bishopstoke and the car park here is roughly halfway between the two cities and is not far from Eastleigh Railway and bus stations. A stone marker gives directions where a footbridge crosses the navigation, located where the lower lock gates would have been. The lock at Bishopstoke originally had turf sides, and this was replaced with brick and sheet piling. The upper gate has long been replaced with sluice gates to control the water level. On this visit we crossed the footbridge, taking us away from the lock and towards the village. For a detailed history of the Itchen Navigation, I can recommend the booklet by Edwin. Details are in the description below. This area is Old St Mary's. On the site of a Saxon church, only a few remains exist of the last church, along with some gravestones lining the perimeter. The last church here fell into disrepair and was demolished. A new St Mary's church was built further up the road in 1891. So to Bishopstoke Beach, or Bishy Beach to the locals. Originally it was a cattle watering place, but is now a very popular shallow part of the stream with a gravel beach that has always been a favoured place for paddling, playing, feeding the ducks and generally having a good time. As seen in the 1880s map, the road originally made a very hazardous sharp turn right. Many furiously horse-driven carriages coming down the road failed to negotiate this turn and ended up in the river, so the bend was eventually smoothed out, leaving a private parking area as a ghost road. Still looking at the 1880s map of Bishopstoke, the road adjacent to the river, not unsurprisingly known today as Riverside, contained the majority of the village. The mill, church, pubs and shops were all here. Most were constructed in 1907 to serve the new housing provided for the expanding Eastleigh Railway Works. These houses were built for the managerial and supervisory grade of employees, being somewhat grander than those in central Eastleigh, away from the noise and smoke of the railway and in a somewhat nicer location. Alas, the Anchor Inn has long gone, although the splendid Anglers Inn still thrives as a lovely village pub. At the main road junction was a large house, St Agnes, formerly a private boarding school for girls, and then a doctor's residence, then rebuilt and converted to become the River Inn. That evolved into the Toby Carvery, which unfortunately suffered a bad fire in 2024. Not for the first time, it also suffered fire damage during the building work before becoming the River Inn. The former Prince of Wales pub is now a Tesco store. Bishopstoke Mill was likely rebuilt many times until it became known as Shears Mill. In 1923, 2 river turbines were installed. The mill ceased operations in 1930 and the building was demolished in 1931. A glass-fronted building that was built as part of Bishopstoke's Jubilee project in 2013 now houses some of the old mill workings and photographs of the old building. The turbines are still located underneath, although they are no longer working. Bishopstoke has expanded considerably today, effectively joining up with the village of Fair Oak. It's still separated from Eastleigh and Southampton due to the rivers and the low-lying ground. With everywhere else, traffic causes problems, especially as currently this is one of only a very few east to west roads. The river and navigation still protecting the uniqueness of the village, and long may it remain so. If you have enjoyed this, please consider subscribing to my channel. There are absolutely no costs and it really helps small content creators like me to let others know about our videos. Please add any comments of your memories, as I really enjoy reading about your experiences. Thanks again, and look out for further videos covering local issues.